a quiet village, late 1990s. Kalima was a young bride, only 24, gentle, kind, and silently breaking inside. Almost a year had passed, and she couldn't have a child. No one blamed her out loud. But silence can hurt more than words, especially her mother-in-law, Gulzada, 55 years old, cold, distant, carrying her own invisible pain, until one evening, everything changed. "I understand you," Gulzada said softly. "I went through the same thing once." That night, for the first time, they felt close. And just weeks later, a miracle happened. Kalima was pregnant. Her world finally had light. But the very next morning, she found something that turned that light into darkness. A medical paper. Gulzada, 55 years old, pregnant. Kalima froze. 2 women, 1 house, both carrying life, but one question had no answer. Who was the father? The village began to whisper. A mother and daughter-in-law pregnant at the same time. This isn't normal. Her husband is long gone. So who is it? No one knew the truth until one day, Kalima found a letter, a confession. Gulzada had been seeing a man in secret, a neighbor. Loneliness had led her there, and now she was carrying his child. Kalima's hands trembled. That boy, Samad, was not just a child of sin in the eyes of the village. He was a child born from silence, from pain, from a mistake no one could undo. Years passed. 2 children grew up in the same house. Mariam, bright, full of life. Samad, quiet, distant, watching everything. But inside him, something was breaking. "I hate her," he once whispered. "She took my place." At just 4 years old. By 13, he had changed. Anger, fights, silence. "Why did you give birth to me?" he shouted one night. "Who is my father?" There was no answer that could heal him, and soon after, Gulzada died, quietly, taking her truth and her guilt with her. At her funeral, the whispers got louder. Samad heard everything. He didn't cry. He just disappeared. Months later, Kalima saw him again at a train station, broken, lost, alone. "What are you doing here?" she asked. "Living," he said. That one word carried a lifetime of pain. She looked at him and made a choice. "Come with me." She wasn't his mother, but that day, she became one, not by blood, but by heart. She gave him a home, a chance, a reason. "You decide who you become," she told him, and for the first time in his life, he cried. A year later, Kalima fell ill. In a hospital bed, she held his hand. "If you leave, I'll be alone again," he whispered. "You won't," she said softly. "You have your life and your choice." "Will you stay as my mother?" She smiled faintly. "No, as the one who showed you the way." That night, she passed away. Her last words, "Take care of the child." Months later, the broken boy began to heal, not because the past changed, but because someone chose to love him anyway. And on her grave, it says, "Even if no one loves you, you must still love, because you exist, and that is enough."